Welcome back to McKillop Life. My name is Amber,
And I'm West.
and it's been a little over a week since the hailstorms caught us and did so much damage. And we just thought we'd give you an update, a little tour. Now that it's been a week, you can see behind us that yellow all over. All of the debris in our yard is starting to dry out, which is good because it'll be easier to pick up as we're working on it. But it's also not great because then it becomes more of a fire hazard, which is why we need to pick it up. So as you can see, we've been working on raking up the debris, and our poor trees look so thin. And they're also dropping a lot of sap because all of this was not naturally taken out of the tree. And so there's lots of wounds the tree is trying to close up. So before, you couldn't see through our tree. It was much thicker than that. But this is a big chore that we're working on as we're able, by our bodies in the time. So we've raked all of this down there. No, it's not our house. So these two seem normal, great. They're bounced back. I think we went 10 days without watering. And we're back to watering because we have a hot, dry week. This one still looks pretty pitiful, but it's not dead. And there's flowers on it. Like these little purple flowers. So. And then this one really got spared from the hail because of the awnings, and it's doing wonderful. Just love the gladiolas. So pretty. So let's go into the backyard. So here at the back gate, you can turn around and look at the side yard here. And this entire area, all the way down the center, had a row of debris and dead leaves and branches and everything. And that was what I did this morning, loading it up into our trash can. Has a, what do you call it? Bungee cord around the bottom. So I have a little pitchfork to pick up the piles, and then we have a rake to help rake things together. And so that was this morning, and you can see the debris in our backyard that we're slowly raking together. And there used to be a pile here that I got picked up this morning. But yeah, all the debris is much more obvious today.
Pictures don't do it justice. It's really a lot thicker than it looks and a lot heavier than it looks.
Yep. So let's take a look at the garden. We still have okra, which we are excited and pleased about, and surprised after what we saw from the damage. And some of them are getting their real leaves on them. And I don't know, a couple days or so after the storm, I came out here and planted more seeds. So we'll have basically a succession sowing of the okra. You can even see here right there. There's a baby one coming up. And here, some babies. But this is the kind of weather okra loves. We're in for a week of basically 100-degree and dry. So it'll grow fast. Our strawberries. Do you want to pull out the pecan in the middle of the strawberries? Just noticed a very healthy pecan tree growing up in between. We have squirrels that are very industrious and like to bury pecans. And there's the pecan. So, yeah.
Tree, anyone?
Yeah. Pecans grow easy here. I'm not surprised that the strawberries aren't putting on fruit because they're just trying to survive. So, but these are everbearing strawberries, so we should see some fruit later on in the summer. And these two are looking good. There's little strawberry. So cilantro, basil, strawberries mixed in, pansies too. This poor bucket needs, we need to deal with it. It's drowning the mint. Of course, mint actually loves water, so it's not an emergency, but we need to take care of it. It didn't used to do this, so something happened to its holes that it's not draining properly. Here's our Roma tomato plants. They're still pretty sad. They are setting some fruit, and so they're trying to do what they need to do. But with all the water and everything, it got diseased. So I don't know how well it's going to really spring back, but it's not dead, so we're happy. Some pepper plants. There's even got some peppers on it, and it's doing okay. This cherry tomato, it's putting on fruit. That's what matters, and it's not dead. This one is a lot sparser than it was before, but it's still going at it, and it has fruit on it, so I'm happy to see that. These peppers are okay. They're not what they were. There are some flowers on it, so it'll be trying to put fruit on. This bean plant has bounced back. We're quite happy about that. You can see we got the old scraggly leaves and new leaves it's putting out, so it's doing its best. Our potato ones are putting on baby leaves. You can see they're trying to do their thing. There's some of them that aren't responding very well, like this one is pretty gone, but we're just going to let them go and see what we end up with. And this one, our cantaloupe plants were a complete loss, and one watermelon plant came back, and I just yesterday planted for the first time ever in our garden. We have horseradish in this one with a little bit of ginger, and then I accidentally overbought turmeric at the store, so all of this is full of turmeric. So that'll be exciting to see how those come up. I know it's late in the season for planting all of that stuff. It might not mean a harvest this year, but
We had nothing to lose.
yes, it's just a hope for possible green plants still. So here we go. More piles of debris to pick up. Right now, the backyard's more of a priority just because of our dogs being out here. The herb garden, catmint's okay. The asparagus you can barely see on camera, but it's happy. So a lot of these plants are perking up and looking good. Once again, the tale of the whole thing is it's not as bushy and not as vibrant as it could have been, but it's okay. And that rosemary I picked for a project the other day, and even from that time there, I picked some stems. Our flowers, there's at least two that are complete write-offs. The plant is called stock.
You're getting new stuff.
Got a little bit of flowers coming up, but those ones, in all reality, really just need to be repotted. The impatiens over here is okay. Some of the pansies are okay, and the geranium, it's hard to see that that'll ever be what it was. Then over here, this was somewhat protected, so they've always looked a little bit, these are rose bushes, they've always been a bit scraggly, but they're not dead, and that's the theme of the story. So mixed into all of this recovering and new life and just rebounding from the storms, we had a
Unplanned.
well, it's unplanned, but it was not unforeseen. For quite a while now, our dog Dutch, the fluffy one who was blind, has been having health issues and struggling. And a while ago, we had basically decided if and when he got sick again, that we weren't going to try to intercede or bring him back because the quality of his life was so poor. He would spend his days lost and crying and we could be, in the same room with him, and he'd still be crying, thinking he was alone. And he was on pain medicines, and he was still doing a lot of panting, which can be one of the signs of them still being in pain, and just anxiety in general. So, unfortunately, this last weekend, he did get sick, and it was
Pretty sick.
But the weird thing was, it wasn't like he had chronic pancreatitis, and so we're familiar with that, and he would often get like vomiting sessions and just be yucky. And we were able to bring him back from that several times. But this time it was completely different. It was a ton of diarrhea, and that was really just on Saturday afternoon and evening. And in the evening we were, thinking about his condition, and we're like, he's stable, he's cleaned himself out, and doesn't seem to be suffering right now. So we went ahead and went to bed with the intention of calling the vet the next morning. And the next morning he got up and refused all medication, continued to have diarrhea, and then was even vomiting water. And we're like, this is not good, it's not getting any better, he's suffering at this point. Especially without his medications, then whatever pain he has been in is just, that much more. So, yeah, yesterday we had to make the decision and say goodbye. And he was one of the dogs I brought into the marriage. The other one has already passed several years ago. But he's been with us our entire marriage. He's part of West and I's dating story about bonding with the dogs and getting to meet them, because he was very new to my life. Dutch was very new to my life when West came into my life too. And so it's sort of a story for us. Even though his life was hard, we still loved him, and we are massively missing him right now. But you won't see the fluffy dog anymore. And it's even weirder this morning because our other dog is in getting a dental treatment done. And so we're like, the house is so quiet and so empty, and nobody's telling us when people are at the front door or in the back alley. But we don't foresee us being a one-dog household for too long, because our other dog came from a household of 5 dogs to our 3 dogs, and now she's the only one. So I don't think it'll be good for her to be alone. That being said, for quite a while now, with Dutch being so sick and just out of it, she's kind of been the only dog, because he was less responsive to the things going on around him. We'd call him over, she'd come over, the usual. All dogs respond to all names because there might be treats involved. So, but this afternoon we go pick her up and bring her home with fresh teeth and nails trimmed and all that fun stuff, and get a love on her. But yeah, it's been a hard season, but we are very grateful that the garden is not dead. It's coming back. We see some produce coming on. And it's not a write-off. Like I said, this week's going to be hot and dry, so that'll be good for a lot of the plants to start growing and start putting on some new growth. Wes got called away on a work call, so I guess we'll be signing off here and saying thank you for joining us. If you have interest in watching any other gardening content, I'll have the playlist listed beside me. Until next time, feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day.